Raw Force is a 1982 action-adventure film from director Edward Murphy. The movie opens with a plane headed to a mysterious island. I'm guessing this plane is really sitting in a garage somewhere with a D- level compositing. Back in the cargo hold is a bunch of nervous prom dates? Oh no, it's human cargo! And I don't think these guys have the best of intentions. The plane comes in for a landing. This pleases the grown-up versions of the Jawas from Phantasm. Oh, that's an unfortunate choice of mustache. With this music and these robes, I think they landed on Bloodborne Island. The mercenaries bring the women to the monks. They're trading these women in exchange for uncut chunks of jade. Well, that sure is degrading. I wonder what the movie's gonna do to make it worse. Whoa, there we go. One of the girls is too skinny, so they take her out of the deal. Well, this is awkward. I guess they don't have a no-return policy. Boy, this sure is uncut jade and not just styrofoam spray-painted green. The girl's now stuck on the island and gets killed by a kung fu zombie. Back in the mainland, we meet up with the Burbank Karate Club. I'm not kidding.
Are you the boys from the Burbank Karate Club?
In the flesh.
These guys are catching a boat to Warriors Island. They're headed out to investigate stories of disgraced martial artists rising from the grave. They meet Miss Buck, who runs things on the boat. They then head out for their 3-hour tour. Just then, a kung fu exhibition breaks out on the main deck. Mike sees a girl sitting alone, so he immediately starts hitting on her. That is, until her husband Lloyd shows up. Only he doesn't seem all that upset.
Here, have one of my martinis.
The hell is a martini? Apparently it's a martini that's about 90% gin. You learn something new every day. Schwartz wants to show off, so he asks one of the ladies to volunteer.
Go ahead, Cookie. He doesn't have to know you're on the LAPD SWAT team.
This won't end well.
Hey! Hey!
Mike, Lloyd, Hazel, and Ann are going into town while the rest of them are going to watch kickboxing. The guys split up from the girls so they can go shopping. Mike thinks they're going back to the boat, but Lloyd has other ideas.
What's that?
The Palace of 1001 Pleasures.
The what?
Mike isn't interested, but gets dragged along. The ladies find a shop that sells jade at prices that are so low, they're insane! So this is the bad guys' master plan? They kidnap a bunch of women to trade them for chunks of jade that they cut and sell to tourists for a fraction of what it's worth. How is this a profitable business? Spear goes to the Palace of 1,000 Pleasures to abduct some more women. Lloyd's in with the ladies while Mike's having a beer. The fake police raid the joint and take the women. Mike and Lloyd escape out the window. Afterwards, Mike meets up with his friends at a local bar. The bad guys are trying to abduct the captain, but the gang stops them. How embarrassing would it be to get your ass kicked by a guy wearing this shirt? After losing the bar fight, they try to get away, but this happens. He kicks a truck. The next day, Spear's upset because he thinks the boat's going to the island to move in on their jade business. That night, it's party time. This next scene? I got nothing.
Could I have another sweet vermouth on the rocks?
Sure, coming right up.
John's hitting on Cookie's cousin Eileen and totally impresses her.
You know, Milt here's full contact karate champion of the West Coast.
Wow.
I love this guy's reactions.
My ex-boyfriend couldn't make love to me till I did a striptease first.
What do you call that?
Fetishes. He was into fetishes.
That's really sick.
He must have taken acting lessons from the guy from Time Walker.
Yes, as a matter of fact, you've been getting away with murder. Well, the game is over. And as soon as I call Lieutenant Plummer, you'll be on your way to jail and I'll have what I deserve.
Eileen gets covered in birthday cake, so she has to take a shower. A very long shower. This has to be one of the most convoluted ways to get her girl into bed. Oh, forget it. I can't do this without the cake. Since Lloyd is a scumbag, Mike decides it's A-okay to move in on Ann. He's impressing her with his military knowledge. She's desperately trying to keep the hair out of her face. John seems to have injured his ankle after... Oh, what was that he did? Oh, right! In the bar, this family's eating spaghetti. This can only mean that someone's gonna spill it all over the place. The mercenaries sneak onto the boat. Superman, no! They look less like mercenaries and more like a reboot of the Village People. Steve seems to have lined himself up some sex. I love this guy's delivery on everything.
Gee whiz, your boyfriend must have been far out.
Steve's love fest is rudely interrupted. Chin hears the commotion and goes out to give the guys a beating. Mike's taking out some of the baddies. The radio guy's calling for help. Oh, why did I leave that axe just so that someone could kill me with it? Steve's roommate arrives just in time to fight off the Nazi. After getting pretty roughed up, he gives the bad guy a death by swirly. Cookie and Gary dish out the beatings, but Eileen gets kidnapped. John fights even though he has a busted ankle. The bad guys are escaping, but set the boat on fire before they leave. That's not the most believable effect. After trying to put it out for like 30 seconds, they give up and abandon ship. Spear explains why the monks are buying the girls.
They're not buying the girls for sex.
Then why are they buying them?
For food.
Are you serious?
They claim that female flesh gives them the power to raise the dead.
What? The life raft is adrift for hours until they make landfall at Warriors Island. Wait, so Steve, his roommate, and a random party girl didn't make it?
He's dead.
Boo! The group wander around the island for a while until they stumble upon a graveyard. Spear's waiting for them with a bazooka? The rest of the bad guys ambush them as well. Screw you, trees! They fight off the mercenaries and encounter the monks. Why would you go anywhere with these guys? The monks are eating roast lady and start the ritual to raise the dead. They're covering Eileen with 11 secret herbs and spices. Why are the zombies wearing togas? The guys rescue Eileen right before she's barbecued. Yep, she pooped him. The zombie warriors chase the gang. Cookie knocks one of them out and the Foley uses a sound from Charlie Brown. Extended fight sequence time. Lloyd gets sliced. Why is his skin silver? While escaping, they delay the zombies with their one weakness, an overturned table of fruit. The next day, these monks are having way too much fun. Lloyd buys the farm. I don't mean to be insensitive, but I couldn't help but notice that you're single. They make it to the shore to see Spear's plane. Spear and the last surviving mercenary try to stop the group, but get killed by the zombies. Why are these guys such a threat? They're always moving in slow motion. Ha 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 ha! Oh, we have fun. I guess zombie ninjas can't do water? Mike breaks his sword on this guy's head. Blue blood? Mike stops Spear before he can escape. He jumps in the water, which is filled with piranhas. This movie has a little bit of everything, doesn't it? With the plane full of jade, the guys fly off triumphant. To be continued? Oh, I can't wait to see the further adventures of the Burbank Karate Club. Ah, nuts. The movie was filmed in the Philippines for an estimated $400,000. Before getting into directing, Edward Murphy was a JAG officer in the United States Air Force. At the time, his passion wasn't in law, but in filmmaking. After he left the military, he got an apartment in Manila and lived as an expat. While in Vietnam, he worked as an actor in local Filipino movies and television. He started looking into film school and discovered that since he served in Vietnam, he qualified to go to film school for free. He decided against it and instead went to Hollywood to try to make it on his own. He tried to get work at Samuel Arkoff's AIP, as well as Roger Corman's New World Pictures, but wasn't having any luck. After about 2 years, he was able to speak to Larry Woolner, who ran Dimension Pictures. It was early 1980, and both zombie and kung fu movies were very popular. Woolner liked Murphy and told him about an idea he had. What if they took kung fu and mixed it with zombies? Wouldn't that be great? Murphy agreed and was hired to write the script. He called it simply Kung Fu Zombies. The target audience for the film was 17-year-old boys. And what do 17-year-old boys like more than kung fu and zombies? Nudity. So he wrote the script to have a healthy dose of skin. Murphy took the script to Woolner and was able to convince him to let him direct. Since he already had experience working in the Philippines, that helped him to land the job directing. Most of the budget was from the Philippines, but an additional chunk was from San Miguel Brewery, who paid them for a good dose of product placement. Female karate champ Jillian Kessner was hired to play the agent Cookie Winchell. She started her career as a model before moving into acting. I'll talk more about her in the future with Sirio Santiago's Firecracker. They needed a name for the film and were able to get old-school character actor Cameron Mitchell. He was dating actress Hope Holiday at the time, and they were able to get the duo as a package deal for the film. Jim Wynorski was friends with John Dresden and Gillian Kesner, who put him in touch with Larry Woolner. When the film was assembled as a rough cut, they held a screening for the cast and invited Wynorski. The pacing for the film was all off, and everyone started laughing at it. Woolner asked Wynorski if he could work on the film, so he got with the editor and trimmed the film down from 105 minutes to 86. The new film flowed much better, and was a big improvement over the previous edit. The film opened in 150 theaters around New York. To promote the movie, the distributor rented a flatbed truck, built a bamboo cage, filled it with girls in bikinis, and drove it up and down Broadway. On it was a sign that said, "See Raw Force." Woolner was so excited about the film, he had the director add the "to be continued" at the end, because he was sure they would do a sequel. Murphy wrote a treatment for it, but it was never filmed. The movie was buried in the influx of Filipino action films and was eventually forgotten. Recently, Vinegar Syndrome did a full restoration from the original 35mm negative that breathed new life into this lost piece of, let's call it what it is, glorious sleaze.
What do you do?
Me. I teach 3rd grade.
Raw Force is classic trashy Filipino exploitation. It's not as well made as a Santiago flick, but it's loaded with moments like this.
Could I have another sweet vermouth on the rocks?
Sure, coming right up.
It's fun, the action scenes are decently choreographed, and the cast is incredibly likable. It's also the only film I can think of where a guy stops a getaway by doing a flying kick into the side of a truck.
What do you call that?
Fetishes. He was into fetishes.
That's really sick.